Wondering, are we looking at overcapacity? I look at this magnificent stadium and I'm delighted that it's sold out for all those games. I do, certainly as a citizen of Johannesburg, wonder about those stadiums in future and how often they're going to be full again. But I also worry a little bit about the airports, that we've made them big and we may not need them so big.
I think it should be noted that the airports run infrastructure is a very long-term business. So for us, the World Cup is an event in the middle of a cycle of infrastructure expansion. When this economy grows within the aviation industry, we know that for every 1% GDP growth domestically, traffic numbers domestically anywhere in the world will grow by about 2.5%. We're a growing economy. This economy, even without the World Cup, would require within a 10-year cycle the expansion of airports that you see today. If you factor in the fact that we had an economic crunch, which takes us a few years back in terms of the traffic numbers we are experiencing today, all it does is say that the kind of infrastructure we have today will live with us much longer than the 10-year period that we thought. So it should be very, very clear that in fact the infrastructure investment in South Africa today is the base for South Africa's economic growth and activity into the future. We are not Europe, we are a developing nation. We need the stadiums, we need the roads, we need all the infrastructure capacity to back up the economy into the future. When you take that view, the World Cup is a great opportunity to refine the way we do things.
And just quickly before we move the conversation on, Monhla, just before we move, paying for these airports, I had. Okay, you've gotten that question a couple of times. And the airline industry, I've read some concerns that there are plans to raise the landing fees, etc. That is the case, is it? The airlines are underpaying.
I love this question.
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, you pay me less than 100 rand for this fantastic infrastructure. It's almost unbelievable. This country does not charge you landing fees in dollars and euros. They charge you in rand. Because the government's deliberate policy to open up the economy, no matter how much limitations it had, it decided to never charge you in dollars. But South African Airways and any of the South African airlines, everywhere they go, they are charged in euros and dollars. We don't do that. It's much, much cheaper for great value.
I would like to ask Thandiwe this question, and maybe Jerome and Danny want to chip in as well. Looking at the future tourism, I'm thinking of football pilgrimage tourism. Which country would you want to win the World Cup in terms of the people of that country wanting to come back here and see the stadium where it was won?
Shall I answer for you?
Well, I mean, to be absolutely honest, if it was me, I would say we would get the most benefit if England won it. But I'd like to see if anyone else has a different view.
Okay. I'd be happy if Ghana won it.
How many bed nights can you guarantee?
I'd just be happy if Ghana won.
That's so unfair because it's so subjective. Of course I want an African country to win. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind about that.
That wasn't my question.
But also I do believe that given current statistics and given the growth, 5.7 in terms of the African visitor to South Africa, that we still stand to benefit from a tremendous growth in the African visitor to our country. So yeah, I would like to keep
Jerone?
it here.
The best football team, it's not about business. When it's about winning the World Cup trophy, it has to be the best football team, that's it.
Wasn't the question.
The question is, for me, the question is a non-question. I mean, when it's about lifting the World Cup trophy, it has to be the best football of the world.
I think what you are talking about, in any case, that experience is special, and whether Brazil wins it, or France, or Bafana, or any country, talk to the English, they still talk about England 1966. Those are special experiences. It never happened again. Maybe it will happen in 2010. Maybe it will happen, and I think the English fans are now rallying, buying the tickets, and that brings the point of the believability in the team and his performance. I have no doubt it will go beyond 100,000 tickets sold in the UK. We have close to 97,000 because they now believe in the team, and if Rooney's foot is okay, it will bring another 10,000 tickets. And that just shows you the behavior of football fans. Yes, there's the economy, there's all of these issues, but if Rooney scores another few goals and his foot is ready and Capello is ready, and you bring it back to these small businesses, England is going to be based in Rustenburg. They're going to eat, drink, sleep, their clothing are going to be washed, and there's a huge depository of revenue into this area, including small, medium and micro enterprises that will benefit because of the presence of England in that area. Because what happens, the England fans will go there because they want to see the team train. And I'm sure smaller businesses are very creative and they are very mobile. They can move their business to the training site, whether it's cool drinks, oranges, or whatever they sell. Big businesses can't. You lock in a particular mall and you are not as mobile as small businesses. So you'll see the creativity of these small businesses, and we've seen major events has the benefit because of the mobility of the smaller operators. They know the whole business in the back of their car.
Danny, that's a long answer to a short question. Let me see if I can get Monhla to throw diplomacy aside and just say what she really wants to say.
And this is not a reflection of Airports Company South Africa as mine, right?
Okay.
This
is getting interesting.
Yes, and I'm excited about it. You know, it's a game of probabilities. And between Bafana and Ivory Coast, I think Ivory Coast is going to do it for me. And imagine an African country wins. All of them will be flying here to try and beat them. I think we are going to win. And Ivory Coast, please give it to us.
Well,